Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Kanikapila Monday with me, Matt Stead, live Ukulele Jam. I hope you are all keeping well. Sorry it's been a little while. It's my little boy's birthday last week, so 10 years old. So I was off taking him for a pizza last Monday evening. But we're back for a long time now, so we're going to go through. I've got one break at the end of October, but other than that, we're going to go right through to Christmas, which is going to be absolutely brilliant. So lots of Kanikapilas every week. I hope you've all been keeping well. So we've got some songs, we've got some absolute, what I'm going to call uke classics tonight. So I was trying to think of a theme for today, and I had that train song, Hey Soul Sister, in my mind. And I thought, oh, that would be a good one to use. And then I thought, well, that was kind of specifically written about on ukulele. And I'll talk to you about that in a minute as well. So I was thinking, what about songs that were written specifically for uke? Because we do so many songs. Hi everyone. We do so many songs, don't we, that were written on guitar, but we kind of transpose them over to ukulele and change keys and whatnot. But sometimes you end up with a song that was specifically written for uke and just works perfectly. And that's what we've got tonight. So all three of our main songs were written by either ukulele players or people playing ukuleles specifically. So we've got songs by Train, we've got Magnetic Fields, and I'm wearing my Magnetic Fields t-shirt. I went to see them last month and they were absolutely superb over in London. And then we've got Jason Mraz, absolute classic. And then right at the end, we've got our People's Choice. And you guys chose to do Every Breath You Take, which is that classic stalker song that sounds romantic, but isn't in the least. But it's a great arrangement and one that works brilliantly on ukulele. So we'll have a look at that at the end. So still time to download your sheets. If you haven't, I'll bring them on screen anyway so you can all see them. I hope you're all keeping well. How are you doing where you are? Sun shining in a few places. Raining in Winnipeg though. Don't send it our way, Karen. Keep it over there, please. we've finally got nice sunshine. The last time we did Kanikapila, I couldn't see outside because it was just solid rain, but it's lovely over here. So just a reminder, if you haven't done Kanikapila before, I'll bring the close camera on in a little while so you can see up close all of the chords that I'm going to be doing. We've written them this quite an unusual format in terms of kind of playing ukulele music. The reason it's like this is it makes it really easy to understand chord sequences. That's going to be really important tonight because we're going to look at two of the most kind of famous chord sequences of all time. So we write the chords out in boxes and you just count those boxes along. Louis Armstrong said playing music was as simple as counting to 4, and it really is. That's what we've got here. Every one of those boxes is a measure, and that's 4 beats in common time. So, oh no, Sheila's got COVID. Ah. Well, I hope you're not too miserable with it, Sheila, and I hope this will cheer you up a little bit. Kev, you made it! Excellent, fantastic. Hope you all's going well up there, Kev. I sent you an email today, so I'm sending all my best wishes your way, bud. So let's have a look at this example then. So we've got this classic chord combination called a 1-5-6-4. That means in a particular key, we can number the chords 1 through to 7. And whichever key you're in, they always form a certain order. So the 1st, the 4th and the 5th are major chords, such as G, C and D in this case. The 2nd, the 3rd and the 6th are minor chords. That's A minor, B minor, and I have to think about E minor in this case. And then the 7th is that unusual diminished chord. So you can kind of follow these along, kind of like ABC really. It kind of makes you think about how songs fit together. Each one of those chords has its own chord personality. So the one chord in this key will be G. That sets you off on a journey, and also that's the one that you feel resolved to. So it often comes at the start or the end of a line to kind of set us off and resolve. That's your one chord. And that's what we start with in this song. we've just got a classic G chord, G major, like so. I'll talk to you about strum patterns and stuff in a minute, but just show you the chords. Then we've got the 5 chord, and that's to create a sense of tension. And to literally find the 5 chord in any key, just count up on your alphabet, right? G, A, B, C, D. In this case, it's a D, and we're going to play it as a bog standard D major, like so. 3 fingers, all in the 2nd fret, top 3 strings. Then this chord combination then has a minor chord in, the 6 chord, G, A, B, C, D, E, and we play that as a minor because the 6th chord is always played as a minor. That introduces a touch of melancholy to the song, and that's really important in this chord combination, that kind of nice melancholic. People love that. It pulls at the heartstring, and I think that's one of the reasons why this chord combination is always so successful. Then finally we have the 4 chord. That generally creates a sense of change. And normally you'd have the 5 chord at the end of the line, but I think in this kind of situation, it's kind of creating almost like an unresolved tension, not as strong as the 5 chord, but it does feel like a sense of change, like it wants to go somewhere. So we've got 1 is G, 5 is D, E minor, that's 6, and then 4 C. So home chord sets us off, tension of 5, touch of melancholy, pull at the heartstrings, and then 4 for a sense of change. Now this 1-5-6-4 chord is one of the most successful chord combinations in all of pop music, and particularly in the last 20 years it's become increasingly popular. So if you look through the back catalogue of artists such as Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran is another famous one, so many bands, lots of Lewis Capaldi, he likes this chord combination. So many bands have used this exact chord combination, and later on we're going to do this exact chord combination. It's going to be an entirely different song. We're going to look at I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, which is also in the key of G and also using these chords. Now this song came out in 2010, and it kind of shows that I'm getting old because I kind of think of this as a recent song, and it kind of got slated at the time for being quite cheesy and formulaic, but cheesy and formulaic wins you Grammys. This one won a Grammy, and it also sells albums, so they did very well out of this song. I think it's a well-written song anyway. Interestingly, the band worked with, I'm going to read their names because I'm useless at Scandinavian names. The band worked with 2 people, Espen Lind and Eamon Björklund. I think I'm saying that right. And these guys are really famous Scandinavian songwriters, and they helped them write the song. And Espen Lind, the singer, didn't really like what they came up with. He felt it was like a bit too dark sounding. And then Espen Lind got his ukulele out and played exactly the same chords they're playing on guitar on uke. Because of that lovely re-entrant tuning, it sounded kind of upbeat and bubbly, and the band absolutely loved it. They were like, yes, that's it, that's it. And I think this chord combination does work really, really beautiful on ukulele. There's a bit of a caveat of this one. Normally I try and keep things close or in the original key. Sometimes I change it slightly because I can't sing in that key. This one I had to change completely because the guitarist from Train, he had never played uke before, and he struggled with these chords. So he actually changed the tuning of his ukulele completely, and he ends up with these weird chord shapes, almost like this, like what we would play as a minor 7th shape on ukulele. So if you watch the video and you think, what on earth is he playing? Those aren't the chords that are written here, and they don't look anything like chords that I know on ukulele. He actually changed the tuning of his ukulele to make it easier. So we're going to do our version, okay? We're going to do the standard chords in the key of G for this one. Now, just to get us going, we'll get going with the actual song in just a second. This one we're going to do quite a driving but simple rhythm, and this is what the ukulele player does, the guitarist playing ukulele at the start of the song. We're going to do a simple down, 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 up, down, up. Now, you know me, I hate downs and ups. They get people tense and they make people worry about what they're playing. Just think of it phonetically as walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, down, 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 up, walk, walk, running, running. And if you think in terms of rhythm, it doesn't matter if you're on a down up or an up, as long as you keep that rhythm going. Walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running. Okay? And we're going to start by actually just chucking the intro. We're just going to do that twice. Then we're going to play the chord. So we've got this G. Let me come in on close cam, actually. I'll come in on close camera so you can see my fingering. There we go. So we've got D minor, E minor, and C. Let me know what the sounds like. I've turned it up a bit, so just let me know if that's too loud for anyone, if it's buzzing or anything. So you'll notice that we do that strum pattern twice per measure. Walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running. You can think of it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now that's most of the song, is just that chord combination over and over. So for example, the intro. Hey, hey, and the start of the verse. Your lipstick stains on the front lobe of my left side brains. Now, the only thing you've got to watch a little bit, if you look really carefully, is in the verses, the second line through, we've got this cheeky little D chord at the end. And remember how I told you how the 5 chord, that D in this case, it creates a sense of tension. That's why it's there. It kind of makes you want to go to the next section. And that's really important, because if we look at the chorus in a minute, that's going to start on C. And if we finish the verse on C and start the chorus on C, it's really unsatisfactory. It kind of feels like the song doesn't go anywhere. So that's why it's there. Cheeky little D at the end. So on that line, you're going to play C for half a measure at the end, and then D. I'll just play that line for you. So this is the second line of the verse, this one here. It'll sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. G, D, E minor, and then C to D, like that. Not too bad, right? I reckon you'll soon get the hang of that. So really, really nice one to play. Then we go to the chorus. Now, new sections in ukulele, it's a really common thing to change to the 4 chord, because as I mentioned, that creates a sense of change. And when we go to a bridge or a chorus in a song, not always, but they almost always start with either the 4 chord or the relative minor, which is the 6 chord. And here we've got the 4 chord here. So that's a nice and gentle one. Nice and easy change, that one. So we go to C chord. Now this next measure is a little bit tricky. We've got 2 Ds and then a single G and D. The way to count it is when we hit the D, we're going to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll show you what I mean. I'll play the C before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you just keep that going. C, D, G, D, C. Same again. And then at the end, a whole measure of C and a whole measure of D. Not too bad, right? That will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio, stereo, the way you move ain't fair, you know. Well, hey, soul sister, I don't want to miss a single thing you do tonight. And then after all of those choruses, or at least after this one, we get that nice interlude again, which is just those classic chords again. And we're back to those chords. And if in doubt in this song, if you're not sure what to do, just strum G, D, E minor, C, and you'll almost always be right, because that's what we have for almost the whole thing. And in fact, if you have a look at the bridge, which is a separate section to the chorus, kind of the same, separate section to the verse, kind of the same chords, in fact exactly the same chords as the first line of the verse, but it's just the vocals are different. It's kind of like thought of as a separate section. So when we do that bridge, we're still going to play that G, D, E minor, C. And as we play through it, get a real feel for those chords and how they fit together, because you'll see this come up. In other keys, say in the key of C, you'd still get the same chords, the 1, 5, 6, 4, only this time you would get different chords. So you'd have C would be 1, 5 would be G, 6 would be A minor, 4 would be F. How often have you played those chords? I bet all of you have played these chords before. Same kind of combination, but just in a different key. So really want you to get a feel for that 1, 5, 6, 4 combination, which is really lovely. Now, if you want to solo on this one, you can do. You can use the scales and reference sheets that we've got here. You can download these, links in the description. You only need to download these once, and then you can use them forever and ever. If you've got them on your iPad, they've even got hyperlinks to get you to the right page. And if you fancy a little wee solo, you can do it over the interludes. It's not very long, so you haven't got long to solo, but you can give it a go if you want. Hi Pamela, hi Gwenstaff, I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing well. So let me come up close and I'll show you what you would do. So notice we've got all of the options here all over the fretboard, but that's really hard to remember. So we break them down into these patterns. So we're in the key of G, so we're going to use the G major pentatonic. I think on your sheets it actually says use C major or A minor, but that's a mistake. It should say G major. That's my bad, all right. So we're going to go up to right up here to the 7th fret of your C string. If I tip that way, you'll see my dots. Then we're going to go up to the 9th, back to the 7th, the 10th, 7th and 10th. That's your G major pentatonic. That's just the G major scale, which would normally sound like this. Only we've taken out 2 of the notes which clash with some of the chords. So that's your G major. And you can always use your minor pentatonic, which has all the same notes, just starting from a lower note, this time E. And this time, this would be 4, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. Okay. If you don't feel like soloing or you're not into it, yeah, you got it into running. You don't have to do a little solo. You could. It's not obligatory, but if you want to experiment, it's a really nice thing to do. And of course, if you're a real Kanikapila over in Hawaii, you'd be encouraged to kind of play by ear and perhaps do some of this soloing. It's so much fun. So you could just have a little noodle. I think I did a backing track of this one, so you could do something like just go with this camera. It sounds kind of effective even if you don't do like a million notes per minute. Just keep it really simple. Have a go at a little solo if you want to. And you can do those on the interlude, so where I'm singing Hey A if you like, or you can strum and sing along with me and just have a good time, which is what most people will do, and that's absolutely fine as well. So let me come in on close camera and we'll have a go at our first song then. Remember, if in doubt, just strum G, D minor and C, and then let me know if you've got any questions at the end. Let us know how you got on with it. And this is our rhythm. Down, 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 down. Walk, walk, running, running. You could join in with me on a check if you want. And then we'll start strumming on 4. 2, 3, 4, G. Hey, 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 hey. Here we go. Your lipstick stains on the front lobe of my left side brains. I knew I wouldn't forget you, so I went and I let you blow my mind. CD. Your sweet moonbeam, the smell of you in every single dream I dream. I knew when we collided, you're the one and I've decided who's one of my kind. Get ready for your chorus. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio, stereo, the way you move ain't fair, you know. Well, hey, soul sister, I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight. Take a solo. Hey, hey, I'm back in for another verse, just in time. I'm so glad you have a one-track mind like me. You gave my life direction, a game show love connection we can't deny. And another verse. I'm so obsessed, my heart is bound to beat right out of my untrimmed chest. I believe in you like a virgin, like Madonna, and I'm always on your mind. Whoops, sorry guys. Here's our chorus. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio, stereo, the way you move ain't fair, you know. Well, hey, soul sister, I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight. Here's our bridge. The way you can cut a rug, what you see on the drug. I need some gangster, I'm so bug. You're the only one I'm dreaming of, you see. I can't be myself, not final. In fact, there's nothing I can't be. I wanna see you be with me. Chorus. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. on the radio, stereo, the way you move ain't fair, you know. Well, hey, soul sister, I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight. Last hey, everyone. Hey, 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 say goodnight. Hey, let's do a few more of those tonight. Keep it going. Hey, one more. Tonight, shake it out on the cheek. Woo! Yeah, that was quite an epic one for our first song, wasn't it? Normally I choose something quite laid back for our first song, but there was yeah, that was pretty epic. But I hope you enjoyed that. It's an interesting one. I wasn't singing it even as high as I've forgotten the singer's name, but I wasn't singing it even as high as he was. But even so, it's still quite a stretch on the old vocal cords, that one. He really kind of pounds it out. And I think that's why the song's thought of is quite difficult to do, because the chords aren't tricky, but the way the words scan is quite difficult to sing. So you probably noticed I struggled in a couple of times in a couple of places there. But isn't that a joy to play on the ukulele? The way that 1-5-6-4 combination fits together is just beautiful. So if you enjoyed that, why don't you try? Yeah, exactly. Especially on that bridge. And if funny enough, I'm yours is like that as well, Karen. When we do the Jason Mraz song, it's such a simple song, but trying to squeeze in all the words is really, really tricky. So what you could do is a bit of a challenge to really get used to these Nashville numbers is try playing it in C, in a different key like C. So if you think in the key of C, C would be one, right? And then 5, just literally count up. C, D, E, F, G. G would be 5, 6, C, D, E, F, G. Remember that 6 chords played as a minor, so A minor, and then 4, C, D, E, F. So there you go, just using our fingers, we've got the chords to most of this song in the key of C. The 1 chord, C, 5 chord G, 6 chord A minor, and 4 chords F. Your lipstick stains G on the front of my left side brace and F. So it's really neat. If you get used to those chords, and you'll be able to play hundreds of songs. There's that really kind of famous YouTube clip, isn't there, where there's a band, I forget their name, comedy band, and they basically explain that these chords are basically every song written from the last 20 years, and they just go through like, it's like Journey, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, Train, Jason Mraz. They just go through all the songs that use those chords, and there's just an absolute ton of them. Yeah, there are some. I do like this song, but I think there's some awful lyrics in there. There's the one where it says, "My heart is bound to beat right out of my untrimmed chest." I don't know why. I just hate that lyric. I just find it really cheesy. But ho hum. Some people probably love it, and that's absolutely fine. That's what makes life more interesting. There's loads of covers of this one if you're interested. The Chicks, the guys, they used to be called the Dixie Chicks, and then they dropped the Dixie part of their names. They did a really nice cover of this song. There's loads of information and fascinating facts in the back of your sheets if you're interested. Karen goes to a lot of effort to do the fascinating facts, and yeah, they're really fun. They are fantastic and fascinating, so well worth a look. Thanks, Esther, for all her hard work doing the sheets for us, and Karen with her fascinating facts as well. Really, really appreciate it, guys. Okay, so let's have a look at our next song. Now this, if you found that song a little bit kind of difficult to strum that fast, and it was quite upbeat and it was a bit intense, this one's almost like the opposite of this. We've got 3 chords and they're played really gentle and slow. And this is from the Magnetic Fields, and they released an album many years ago called 69 Love Songs. So Stephen Merritt, who's a bit of a genius songwriter, he wanted to release an album of 100 love songs. He was kind of sick of a lot of the cheesy stuff that was doing the charts, and he wanted to do something different and really epic. And he's really into his musical theatre. So he kind of envisaged it as a Broadway review where they would have this 100 song performance. And it ended up just being too much of an undertaking. And also, 100 songs, they just couldn't work out how you would fit it in like a multi-CD or vinyl set. So he came up with 69 love songs. I know it's a bit rude, but that was the next kind of lowest number that he thought would have kind of romantic connotations. Romantic, right? Romantic connotations, if you like, and would be memorable. So he released this 3 CD set, 23 songs on each one. And it's a fantastic album. There are so many great songs on it. And the Magnetic Fields, if you're interested, I won't bore you with too many details, but they're kind of the reason I play ukulele, because the singer, the songwriter Stephen Merritt, he does a lot of electronic music. He plays all sorts of instruments, but he also writes a heck of a lot on ukulele. And I was watching a documentary. I think there's a link in the Fascinating Facts. There's a wonderful documentary online about magnetic fields. And I really nerded out on it with my wife over last weekend because it opens and it's all shot like on kind of home video cameras. You know, it's the production's really kind of minimalist. It's really great. And it opens in this his bedroom basically, and he's getting out all his ukes and putting them on his bed. And it's so lovely. So he plays a Kamaka, he has a Kamaka pineapple, he's got a nice vintage national resonator, if anyone's into the national ones. And he goes through all his ukes. It's really fun. So a lot of this 69 love songs were written on ukulele. And because he has a problem with his hearing with his left ear, he gets like really bad tinnitus in it. He plays quite quietly, so these are really beautiful. Oh, and yeah, the rhymes are brilliant in this one. Lancing and dancing, I mean, that's just brilliant, isn't it? Oh, he's amazing character. He's a total sweetheart. He comes across as kind of this mean and meaty guy, but he's an absolute sweetheart. So this song's one of my favourites off this album, and this one was specifically written on ukulele. I've kept it in exactly the original key, and if you enjoy this, I even created a video because I love this song so much. Every week or so, it might be every fortnight, I'm going to do just a play along video just for fun with the chords on screen and everything. And the first one I did was a version of this. So if you enjoy this, you can look up that video and play along, and there's a downloadable chord sheet the traditional way. Let's have a look at what's happening anyway. It's a very simple song. The intro and the verses are basically all based on a 1-5-4 combination. So in this case, we're in a key of F, so F is going to be our 1 chord. Then we would count up to 5, that creates a sense of tension, remember, F, G, A. There's a B flat in the key of F. Every key has a certain amount of sharps and flats. F has 1 and it's the 4 chord, it's a B flat. F, G, A. B flat is the 4 chord and C is the 5 chord. So we start with the F chord, just really dead simple. Then we go to that 5 chord for tension. And then to create a sense of change, like the song wants to go somewhere, we go to this B flat. Now, very simply, I'm just going to do down strums on these first few, and at the most simple, it's just F, C, B flat for 4, F, C, B flat. Okay. Now, if you want to really fancy it up and you want to play it exactly how Stephen Merritt does it, on this B flat, as he strums there, he lifts this finger up, this index finger, so it comes on and off the A string. So basically you get this sound. I'll show you what I mean. And you might think that sounds a bit rustic, but that's how he plays it. I'm not kidding. You'll hear it on the record like that. And I'm just strumming with this hand, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But you could just strum a normal B flat and you'll be fine. F, C, F, C. That's most of the song, you'll notice. Like that, okay? So, yeah, John, technically, that's a good question. When you lift off that finger off the A string, you're technically turning it into B major 7. It's generally not notated because it's just like a little wiggle, if you like. That's a technical term, right? Just because it's like a little flourish, you generally don't think of it as a new chord. It's just like a little kind of bells and whistles sort of thing. But yeah, it is, yeah, you're dead right. Technically a B major 7 when you lift your finger off. So, yeah. And if you want, you could play a full bar B flat. Yeah, absolutely. You'd miss that A B flat bit, Karen, but that doesn't matter. You can strum a bar B flat. That's absolutely fine as well. Okay. And we have that all through the verse and all through the intro. When we get to the verse, there's a tiny mistake on this, and this is my bad. I sent the sheets over to Esther and Karen, and it's my bad. That C chord at the end of the verse, that should actually be shifted over into the next measure. So it should look like it. See how I've made that little kind of change on mine? That C shouldn't be in the measure with G minor. It should be in its own box next to it. Okay, so basically, in effect, if I just go through that, I'll do a verse for you really, really simply. We get F, C, B flat, and again, F, C, B flat, F, C, B flat. One more. Then we have a measure of G minor and a measure of C. Okay. G minor doesn't come up that often in songs, but it's just like an F7 chord. You know, you can play an F7 like this. It's that exact shape, just pulled down here. Think of it like an F chord down here, and then this finger here. It's actually only one note away from a G major. We just take the third note of G major, this note, and we flatten it. That's the difference between a major and a minor. Don't sweat the theory, but we have that for a measure. And C. Okay. So that will give us dance with me, my old friend, once before we go. Let's pretend this song won't end, and we'll never have to go home. G minor, and we'll dance among the shadows. And then we've got really classic chords in the chorus. We've got one chord setting us off, and nothing matters when we're F, the 4 chord for a bit of change, B flat, dancing, tension of the 5 chord, in tattered tatters, relieving itself. That sounds like something a dog does. Resolving to the 1 chord. You're entrancing, and then again F. Be we in Paris or in Lansing. What about that for a rhyme? Nothing matters when we're dancing. And then we just repeat the last 2 measures. Okay, really sweet, isn't it? Really, really simple song. That's it. That's it. Literally verses, F, C, B flat all the time. And then that chorus, really, really dead simple. Stephen sings this in a wonderful baritone voice. He's got this gorgeous baritone voice. My baritone voice isn't as low as his. Sorry, I've got all blurry for some reason. There we go. But I'll try and get as low as I can for you. Now, if you want to do a little bit of soloing on this one, again, you can use your scales and reference sheet. This is going to be exactly the same shape as your G and E minor pentatonics, because all of these scales are related. You just take them up and down the fretboard. So have a look at this. Notice it's exactly the same shape that we did for G and E minor, only this time the F one, instead of starting at the 7th fret for G, it makes sense, right? Because then you'd have G flat F. We start from the 5th fret. So this time we've got F to G, that's 5 to 7. Then we've got A to C, that's 5, 8. And then a D to an F, that's 5, 8 again. So same shape, look. And then we have the same shape that we did for the relative minor. This time it's D minor. That's 2, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Okay. 2, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Again, keep it really keep it really mellow, just a few notes. So you could just have a little noodle, just try playing up and down that scale, have a bit of a play around, have loads of fun. And we're going to do an instrumental verse after the 2nd chorus. So in terms of the structure of this one, it goes verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. It's just that final verse we're going to do instrumentally. Here we go. So intro, we're just doing, well, the intro, just F, C, B flat, verse, chorus, instrumental verse, and then a final chorus. Have fun. This is such a beautiful song to play on ukulele. I hope you really enjoy it as much as I do. Let's give it a go then. I'll come in and close camera. Follow me. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dance with me, my old friend, once before we go. Let's pretend this song won't end, and we'll never have to go home. G minor, and we'll dance among the chandeliers. And nothing matters when we're dancing. In tattle tatters, you're entrancing. Be we in Paris or in Lansing, nothing matters when we're dancing. Let's do the intro part again, just before the next verse. And another verse. You've never been more beautiful, your eyes like 2 full moons, as here in this poor old dance hall, among the dreadful tunes, G minor, the awful songs we don't even hear. And nothing matters when we're dancing. In tattle tatters, we're entrancing. Be we in Paris or in Lansing, nothing matters when we're dancing. Take a solo if you like, or just strum along with me. G minor, C, and a final chorus. And nothing matters when we're dancing. In tattle tatters, you're entrancing. Be we in Paris or in Lansing, nothing matters when we're dancing. Nothing matters when we're dancing. Yeah! Well done, everyone. Such a sweet song, isn't it? Really simple. And it works beautifully on ukulele. And again, the reason I kept it in the key of F is so that we're playing exactly what Stephen plays. So you could literally play along to the video or the record of this if you've got this, and it will work even exactly what Stephen does with that little lift on the B flat. I say Stephen, he doesn't really play uke very much anymore. It tends to be Claudia or Shirley who plays ukulele. I think Shirley was playing ukulele when we went to see them. If you're interested, she was playing a 12-string Carla tenor, I noticed. I was able, Sharon was kind of like rolling her eyes. I was able to give the exact model numbers of all the ukuleles that they were playing on stage. So yeah. I don't know. I think one of our American peeps will tell us that in Johnny. Somewhere in America, isn't it? I think. And I think one of my students, I forget who it is now, lives near Lansing and was quite chuffed that was mentioned as a lyric. So yeah, hopefully someone will rescue me in a minute and will tell me where Lansing is. You wouldn't believe I was a geography major, would you? Now, as I say, the reason I wanted to keep it to that key is that's exactly what Stephen does. But I wanted to give you a really good example of something. If you are playing a song and there's a chord that you really struggle with no matter what you do, obviously as a teacher I want you to learn all of, Lansing, Michigan. There we go. Obviously, as a teacher, I want you to learn all of the chords properly. But sometimes it might just be too tricky to play and sing. Sometimes you might just want a simpler version. And that's where knowing these numbers in all the different keys work, right? Because that B flat chord's really tricky. Lots of people really struggle with it, right? But what if we moved that up to the key of G? Just moved it up one whole step. Well, the one chord in G would be G, as we know from like the last song, right? The 5 chord, as we know in the key of G, is D. G, A, B, C, D. And then the 4 chord, G, A, B, C. Okay. So if you really struggled, you could play this one in the key of G by going G, D, C. You could probably... Oh no, it doesn't quite... I'd have to think of the note to add to have that nice flourish. But you could do G. Dance with me, my old friends, once before we go. And you see the power of those numbers. You can play it in any key, right? If I wanted to play it in a key of C, well, C would be the 1 chord, C, D, E, F, G would be the 5 chord, C, D, E, F, F would be the 4 chord, right? So I could play that in the key of C. Dance with, oh, that's hard to sing, I'll have to go really. Dance with me, my old, or even higher. Da, da. I can't get the notes, but yeah, it would be G. I can't go that high. So it just goes to show, right, the power of those numbers. That's why we do these Nashville numbers. Because if you can get how they work, you can play it in any key. And that's a really good example of why you might want to change the key. It doesn't work for me in the key of C. I physically can't sing that high or that low, so I just can't do it. So I would have to change that if the key was originally in C. If there's a chord that's really particularly tricky, change it to another key, that chord becomes simpler, right? So it's a really, really great skill to have. Plus you see how the chords work. And I love that. I can listen to music now on a whole different level. And I don't mean that as a snob. It helps me as a player because I can listen to a piece of music and just play it because I can understand what's happening with the relationship between the chords. And that's a really powerful thing. And I want to share that with you guys. I want you guys to be able to do that because it's such a joyous thing when you get it. It takes a lot of time and a lot of doing these Kanikapilas and studying it, but eventually it'll click and you'll have that power. And it's like a superpower. It'll be a really, really great thing to have. Okay, so we're halfway. Just before I do I'm Yours, so let me just tell you about a couple of things that we've got coming up. Oh, Karen's got a question. I'll just answer that before I do it. So if you change the key to G and the B flat ends up being C, what finger would you move? Yeah, it's not quite as simple, Karen, because you kind of, it's awkward, isn't it? I guess if it's going from B flat to A, that's like 1 and then below an A, you'd have to turn the C into a B. I think that would work. Let me just try that. Yeah, that's what you do. There we go. I thought it would be a harder answer, but it's not. In the key of G, you do G, D, and then you go C to B. And the reason I know that works is that in the original, we went from... the reason I know that works is that in the original we went from a B note to an A note. Okay, so I'm taking a C to a B because a C is below. So that's what you do. Like that, all right? Yeah, cool. Okay, right, so a couple of things we've got coming up then. We've got a Hawaiian fingerstyle chord melody, which I'm really, really excited about, actually. This is a beautiful piece by Ernest Kai, who is a great player. For some reason, I spout his name wrong on the poster, but I've done a new one corrected. I just don't have it on this computer yet. So apologies, that's one too many A in the in Ernest Kai for any of my Hawaiian friends. I apologise. But we're going to do this beautiful song. Ernest Kai was one of the first ukulele arrangers. So if you get some early Hawaiian books, bearing in mind the instrument didn't really come into existence until the 1890s. The Ravenscrack, the ship that took the Shep to Braga from Portugal to Hawaii, that docked in 1879. But it wasn't really until it had been there for a decade that it really became known as the Ukulele Jumping Flea. And then in the kind of 10s and 20s, it really hit the mainland with the Royal Hawaiian Band going out and performing at expositions. And at that time, this guy called Ernest Kai came up with all these beautiful Hawaiian arrangements. And this is one of them. It's an absolutely gorgeous piece of music. So this is going to kind of lead on from the piece that we did last Wednesday. So this is going to be a week on Wednesday, and I'm going to teach it to you in a beautiful chord melody version, which I think you're going to enjoy. And that's going to be 3:30 week Wednesday. Remember that all of my members on my website, all of my students get the worksheets for that at no extra cost. You can subscribe at mattsteadukulele.com. And whilst I'm there, my begging bowl, if anyone wants to send me tips tonight, paypal.me/Ucream. So thank you for all your support, and thanks for everyone that's supported me and kept me going. It really means the world to me. There's loads of other news, but I've completely forgotten it. I'm gonna have a confession, and if I kind of, my brain goes tonight. I had 45 minutes sleep last night. 45 minutes. My son went on his first residential today to the Isle of Wight. He's 10, and he's a bit of a daddy's boy, and I probably spoil him to bits, and I was really worried about it. He woke up with nightmares in the night, and I basically tossed and turned worrying about him going off on his own. Well, not on his own, with his teachers, but without his mum and dad for a week to the Isle of Wight. So if I look a bit haggard today, I'll have to apologise for the bags under my eyes. I literally have 45 hours. 45 hours, that'd be nice. 45 minutes sleep last night, and then we had to get him to school for 5 o'clock in the morning to get a bus. So yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. You know me, I love Kanikapila and I'm enjoying it. So just in case I go nuts, you know what's happening. So yeah, there you go. Exactly, Rebecca. Yeah, definitely. And these are lovely for that, aren't they? And this is a nice example of that. We've got some simple chords for the Nashville numbers because we've got exactly the same chords as the first song. We've got that 1 6 4 5, and that's not 1 5 6 4, and that's not a coincidence. I purposefully chose another song with that to give you some practice of it and show you how common it is. And also, it really shows you how common it is on ukulele, because that makes sense, right? All of these songs were written on uke, and they have similar chord combinations. So this one we have G major again, just like we did with the last one. A different strum pattern in a minute. I'm going to show you how to do this one. But we've got that G for a measure, then we've got D for a measure, E minor for a measure, and C. And if we're not careful, your lipstick sticks. We're going to end up singing Train, and that's how similar they are. Exactly the same chords. Really, really interesting. There's some great fascinating facts on this one. So this was written as just as an extended play, an EP, to promote something that he was working on, and it became so popular that they put it on his third album, and it became a massive hit. Again, I think of this as a recent song, but it's really not. But it's great. Really, really difficult to sing this one, but really easy to play. So if you're not into singing, just enjoy the joyousness of playing this one. It's great fun. Now, what we're going to do straight away is we're going to put this in a different rhythm. And I'm hoping this change in rhythm will show you how even if you play two songs with exactly the same chords, they sound different because of that rhythmic change. So this one, instead of playing that down, 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 up, down, up, we're going to play down, down, up, down, up, down, up, and we're going to do it with a little bit of kind of swing rhythm. This is often referred to as an island strum. The calypso strum often gets referred to as the island strum as well. Now, if you're not into your downs and ups, think of it as this. Walk, running, 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 walk, running, 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 down, down, up, tempo's lower on this one as well. So if I was to do just the intro on that to give you an idea. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's speed it up just slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, G. D minor, D, even, E minor, and C. Okay, now this next bit is just for those that are confident enough. If you struggle with those chords or you're finding this difficult, just keep strumming either straight up and down or that rhythm I just showed you. But if you want to start putting that kind of Jason Mraz flavour to it, that kind of laid back vibe that he has going on, what we're going to do is we're going to put some chucks in. Now to do the chuck, you can either flatten down this hand, where we just drag our fingers over the strings and immediately flatten them against the ukulele. I find that quite difficult because you've got to make quite a big movement quite quickly. Or you can do my favourite way of chucking is you just play a chord, introduce a finger to any of the strings, but don't press. If I press, I get a jazz chord. We don't want that, we just want a chuck, right? And what we do is we do that on beats 2 and 4 like this. 1 and 2. Let me just get my rhythm going. Like that. Okay, if I really slow that down, I'm going to do an up down, chuck, up down, up, chuck, up down, chuck, up down, up, chuck, up down, chuck, up down, up, chuck. See that? We could do that on all the chords, on a D, minor, and C. On a C, I use these 2 fingers. Okay, chuck, 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 D minor, chuck, and C. Now, if you find that too difficult, just do the original one. Still sounds great, right? And I'll hit the chucks for you. You can still enjoy it just as much. Okay, without. Now, basically, that's the entire song. Believe it or not, that progression, which is really, really key to modern music, that's the entire song. The only change is at the end of verse 2 and at the end of choruses 2 and 3, we have this A7. Okay, that's the only difference, and that just plays for a measure. Generally, it's where you get loved, loved, loved. So if I do the end of verse 2, just an example, let me come in on close cover, it'll sound like this. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, and that's it. Got the second right to be loved, loved, loved. And you can hang it, or you can strum it, and that takes you into a chorus. No, I won't hesitate. No, and you just back to that classic G, D, E minor, C. That's basically it. That's the entire song, believe it or not. Now, we don't have time for any soloing, unfortunately, on this one. We are going to have time for soloing on the last one. We're even going to do finger picking on the last song. So I just realised I've gone out of tune a second. I put new strings on this uke and it's just still settling. Okay. Oh, sorry. There we go. Cool. So that's it, basically. Just keep that going for the whole song. Just, if I ever say A7, hit an A7. Otherwise, just keep playing G, D, E minor, C. Just really, really enjoy this one. Again, quite a difficult one to sing, so if I get the words wrong or in the wrong order, please don't shout at me. I'll do my best. And same goes for if you have a go at this yourselves. Quite tricky with the wording, but chords nice and simple. So close cam and just copy me. I'll do the intro round a couple of times so we can just get a feel for it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And D, minor, and C. Let's do that again as an intro. G, and D, and E minor, and C. Well, you done me and I bet you about it. I tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Before the cool down ran out, I'll be giving it my bestest. Nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some chorus, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Keep those chords going. Ba, ba, da, ba. Da, 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 da. Verse 2. Well, open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. Look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, and it's a God-forsaken right to be loved, love, love. A7, love. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. There's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Come on, close again. Do ba da ba dee ba ba ba. Ba 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 da ba ba. I'm not going to sing the nibbling in your ears bit. Just keep glad. Da dee dee ba da ba ba da. Da da dee ba da ba ba. Another verse. You spent it too long checking my tongue in the mirror, bending over backwards just to try and see it clearer. My breath fogged up the glass, so I drew a new face and I laughed. I guess what I'll be saying, there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. It's what we aim to do. Our name is virtue, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your blinds and damn, you're free. Look into your heart and you'll find the sky is yours. So please don't, please don't, please don't. There's no need to complicate. as our time is short. This is a dream. I'm your home. Da 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 da. I'm your home. There we go. Such a simple song, but really fun and really attractive, isn't it? I thought I did so well with it, with the lyrics, until I got to the final chorus and then I mucked up. I'm proud of myself for making it that far, and let that be a lesson to you. If us teachers go wrong, you're allowed to go wrong, right? So absolutely fine. Let me know if there's any questions on that one. This is a lovely, lovely one to practice that chucking with. I think it just works so well on this one. And again, experiment with the key on this one. You know now that you could play this in the key of C, right? By doing C, G, A minor, F. And you've probably seen it that way before. The only reason I didn't sing in that key is that it's just too low for me to sing in it. But if you wanted to do it in the key of C, C, G, that's 5. 6 is A minor, and F. No, I won't hesitate, no more, no more, it cannot wait, I'm yours. Alright, so you can see it's too low for me, but you can see it works in the key of C beautifully, and it might fit with your vocal. So if you want to try it in the key of C, that's the way to do it. Yeah, that chucking really makes it, doesn't it, Johnny? If you struggle with that chucking and you're kind of new to chucking, practice it really slowly below tempo, and then just like gradually raise the tempo a little bit each day. And you can simplify that chuck rather than think of it as down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck. Just keep going up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, like this. Up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck. And if you find that difficult, guys, so I'm just doing it on a C as example, really slow it down. Up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck, up, down, up, chuck. And then as you get more confident, increase that tempo a little bit. And that's as fast as you need to go. Okay, so just think of it as up, down, up, chuck, again and again. And you can do that on so many songs. That island pattern is great. It works really beautifully for reggae. I can't think of the chords to Two Little Birds Around. But it's kind of anything kind of reggae. That's really good on. So things like Don't Worry, Be Happy as well. All of those kind of tunes, it works beautifully on. So have a little practice of that. And yeah, let us know how you get on. And if you do struggle, if you visit, I hate doing all this selling stuff, but if you go to mattsteadukulele.com, guess what? There's a lesson on it. So I think it's on my Beyond Beginners Intermediate Ukulele course if you want to find that. There might even be a free version on YouTube. I can't remember what I've left up there. But yeah, if you're one of my members, certainly go to the Intermediate course and there's a whole lesson on chucking where you can learn it. And I think we do it on Don't Worry, Be Happy, I think, from memory, which is a great song. Okay, we've got one more to do tonight. Now this is a really weird song, right? This is the People's Choice. So every week, Karen actually on the Facebook group, and if you're not a member of that Facebook group, it's really worth coming along. Every few weeks we do a challenge where you can record yourself playing a particular song. From a particular genre or a theme, and we're all really supportive. It's not like kind of competitive, and you can win a set of badges, and we all really support each other through. So it's a really great little community on Facebook, and I really appreciate how it's kind of grown and people are really helping each other. So I'll tend to get on there at least once a day to see what's going on and see if there's any questions or anything. But it's really lovely. Sometimes if I haven't got on there in the morning, I'll log on and someone will have asked a question about chucking or modes or scales, whatever it is, and other people will chip in and help out. And it's a real wonderful kind of community resource like that, totally free. So you students hang out, look it up on Facebook. And I've lost my thread of thought while I was talking about Facebook. I knew that tiredness would kick in eventually. What was I talking about? Oh, it's completely gone. Anyway, get on there if you can. Oh yeah, that was it. It came to me, sorry. So every 2 weeks on that Facebook page, every week, Karen does a poll, and you guys can suggest a people's choice, one of your favourite songs from the Kanikapila vaults. And this week you chose Every Breath You Take by, I was going to say Sting, but of course it's The Police. Now, it's a weird song, this, because so many people think of it as a love song, and people have actually got married to this song. There's a famous scene in Ally McBeal where it's played in a romantic context with Callister Flockhart playing Ally McBeal and Robert Downey Jr. And it's like this really romantic moment. But actually, this song was written when Sting split up with his partner, and it's a really bitter kind of song, almost like a lot of people think of it as a stalker song. So it's kind of quite threatening in a way, but it's beautifully threatening. Is that a weird thing to say? I don't know. But, you know, that kind of every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you... It starts off all right. You think every breath you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you. That's quite sweet, right? But then every bond you break... every game you play, every night you stay, and then it gets worse. Every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. It's really bitter, but the chords are joyous and beautiful, and it's so mellow, and it's a great song, I think. So let's give it a go anyway. And if you find it creepy, let's just pretend it's a romantic song and just enjoy it, because it's got great chords in. Now, this one was your choice, so this wasn't me being clever or anything like that. But have a look at that first verse. Don't the chords seem familiar? 1, 6, 4, 5. Can you believe it? It's not quite the same order, but it's the same chords of all of those other songs that we've been doing in the key of G. The power of the 1 chord setting us off on a journey. 6 chord for melancholy, and it really needs it, this song. It does tug at the heartstrings, even though it's kind of bitter. The 4 chord for change, and then 5 chord for tension. What I think is kind of interesting for this one, I'm going to show you a picking pattern, but just for now, let's just strum down strums like this. We call this straight 8s. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I'm going to show you what I think is really clever about this song, one of the many things that's really clever about this song. Listen out for the final chords. You would expect after this 5 chord for it to go back to G. And that would sound like this. If I play a G at the end, have a listen. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. That kind of works going back to G, doesn't it? But E minor's only 1 note different from G. But listen to the difference. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Going to that E minor at the end, the relative minor, is a super clever thing to do, because it gives the song a real power and darkness and melancholy, which suits the kind of the dark lyrics and everything. Or, if you prefer to live in ignorance, which is fine, romantic feel, right? And it's all because it goes that E minor at the end rather than going back to the 1 chord. You would almost always expect a 5 chord to resolve to the 1 chord, but here by going to the relative minor, that E minor, it just sounds really delicious and delightful, which is what's happening there. Let's try that then. Let's just do a down strum and let's try a verse. Come in with me. Oh, by the way, remember my little trick? When it goes from G to E minor, you don't have to rearrange these 3 fingers like this, G to E minor. You can do, and if you are doing it that way, lead with that index finger and then just go up the stairs and up the stairs like so. But there's a little trick from G to E minor. There's only 1 note different between those 2 chords, and it's this E note rather than this D note. So what you can do from G to E minor is just put your little finger on the 4th fret of the C string. So G, and then look for E minor. All I do is this. It's a bit of a stretch, but it saves me doing this. It's absolutely fine. You can do that. You can do that either way. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. There's a Karen. There's yeah, there's an inside joke in one of the lyrics. Where is it? Oh, can't you see your pants belong to me? Esther went through a period for our kind of our fun part of Kanikapila, hiding little lyrics. And we used to have a bit of an in-joke about pants. So don't worry, we haven't gone crazy. That was a bit of a crazy Kanikapila in-joke for people that used to do Kanikapila a year ago. Just ignore it. There are a couple of changes actually, Karen and Esther. I noticed the chords. There's something that we need to do in the final chorus, which I'll explain to everyone in a minute. So there's a couple of things that we can change really simply. But let's just try a verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Actually, just come in on every breath. You come in on the word take. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Lovely, right? Now, if you want, you can do this picking pattern here next to this scary guy with the blacked out face. Now, this is a really simple inside-outside picking pattern. It works beautifully on this tune. All you do is you get your finger and thumb. Thumb takes the C string, and then index finger picks up on the E string. Thumb takes the G string, index finger up on the A string. So I call it inside outside. Can you see that? Inside outside, inside outside. You could use these fingers kind of Pima style, but I think these 2 work really nicely, just cycling between. And that will sound like this. If I do it for the chords, let me come out a bit so you can see all my fingers. We do it twice per measure. Isn't that really nice? Oh, I went to a G. See, that's interesting. I went to a G without thinking, but it needs to go to that E minor. Isn't that lovely? So that's a picking pattern you can do over the whole song, or I like to do it over the opening verse and chorus. I think it works really brilliantly there. So if you want to, you can do that. In fact, I like to, halfway through the first chorus, I like to then go back to the straight 8s, because I think it adds a change, which is really nice. Chorus is relatively straightforward. We go to the 4 chord. Remember, that's the most common chord to use when we go to a chorus. And that's powerful that you have that knowledge, because if you're not sure how a chorus is going to start, try the 4 chord and you're usually right. In this case, it's C. Oh, can't you see? We resolve that back to G. You belong to me. Then we've got the 2 chord, which would normally be in A minor, but this time it's A major, which is a really unusual chord for Sting to choose. But it really kind of lifts it at that point. Da, 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 da. And then D for the tension, the 5 chord. With every step you take. And then the whole of the second half of this chorus, these bottom 2 lines, are the same as the verse again. All right, let's try it from that C, just so you can try it. Come in on the word C. Oh, can't you see? You belong to me. How my poor heart aches with every step you take. And then we're back to the verse chords. Every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. Really nice, right? It's cool, huh? I'm just hearing people talking about Sting playing creepy guys and stuff. Do you remember him in Quadrophenia? He played like a kind of a mad guy in Quadrophenia, didn't he? Which is quite cool, kind of like the counteract Phil Daniels' character. And it always surprised me when I see him in that movie because it doesn't feel like he should be in it. I grew up, genuinely, my wife thinks this is hilarious. I grew up thinking that the Police were from Germany until when I heard Sting's Newcastle accent for the first time, it blew me away because I thought he was German. And the reason being, in our school textbook, the German textbook that we had when I was learning the German language, one of the teenagers keeps going on about the Police are his favourite band. And you know, they had that kind of short, kind of blonde hair and then blue eyes. Honestly, I swore they were German for years. I thought they were like a kind of an Aryan band or something. But yeah, then I learnt they're from Newcastle. Well, Sting is anyway, obviously Stuart's from America. But anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm going to shut up now. Let's have a look at the interlude. Now this one, it changes key really, but I've kept it written as in the key of G. And we go to the E chord, played as an E flat. This is really unusual here, and it sounds exotic. Now E flat's quite a tricky chord. If you just get your first finger at where you play a C7 first, and then just stretch up with either your 3rd and 4th or your 2nd and 3rd fingers. Just fill in the gaps on the middle 2 strings of the 3rd fret like this. And then that just goes to an F chord. The reason it says F7, flat Roman numeral 7 there is because in the key of G that should be an F sharp. Don't sweat the theory. But we have E flat to F. Isn't that great? Really kind of quite powerful. We do it again. Back to F. And then it goes to E flat. Just stays on there. And then we hit the chords to the verse. And we're going to put, after that interlude, we're going to do a little bit of a solo. If you want to just strum with me, we're going to do the verse chords twice. If you want to have a little solo, you can use the G major pentatonic we used earlier. I'll just remind you, that was way up here at the 7th fret, 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. And the E minor pentatonic, this is all in your scales reference, 4, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. So if you fancy a little solo on that bit, just have a little noodle around with those two scales if you'd like. This would be a really good one to really practice this picking pattern. So I think that would be this would be a good one to have a go at those those patterns if you can do it. Indrani's just asking, switching between the F and the E flat is quite difficult. Yeah, main thing in Indrani is to lead with that index finger. So you'll notice that the F chord, we can just move this finger down into the E flat and then put those over. So think of that shape, down and over. If you're never sure, always lead with that E flat. Okay, like so. All right. Yeah, Charlene's got an interesting take. That's a really cool idea, Charlene. I haven't thought of that. Yeah, you could also do a movable D and move it up. So this is, you know how you can play a D chord here? You can also play it by barring the 2nd fret and your little finger up here on 5. Well, if you move that up one more, that's E flat. If you move it up again, it's E, and up again is F. So you could go from E flat to F like this. Just take that 2 higher. And you can go between E flat and F like that. That's a cool idea, Charlene. Well done. You get brownie points for that. That was really nicely spotted. So ding ding. Well done, well done. But if you are doing it in open, just lead with that index finger. If you ever want to get to a chord quickly, if you lead with your index finger, you'll find the other 2 fingers will be begging to come down in the right place. Oh, Charlene, that's really kind. You passed the credit back to me and you didn't need to. You should have taken credit for that one. Thank you, thank you. That's right, Indrani, all about training. You could actually do some training with that index, just getting it used to leading between chords. But yeah, have a little try of that. Okay, so let's give this a go then. Now, there's one change that I made, and it's quite late in the day, so I'm going to show you this quickly. You know the ending where it goes to this bit here, basically this half of the song? I realised we made some mistakes. So first of all, this bit here, where it says every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. For that bit, you're going to repeat the last bit of the verse. It's this C, D, E minor. Every breath every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. That bit. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. That bit there, all right? So when we do these 3 chords, these 3 lines up here, that's going to be C, D, E minor. And then when we get to these bits, which is the whole of this 2nd section, it's these chords in this order. We have G for 2 measures, E minor for 1, C and D for half a measure. I'll play it for you so you can hear. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, I'll be watching you. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, I'll be watching you. Okay, so just for that bit, just keep repeating. G, just follow mine. E minor, C and D. And you just keep that going round and round, all right, over all of this bit. For some reason, I didn't spot that when we did it the original time, and I think we just used the normal chords, but that's how it works, all right, just so you can have a go. Come on, let's have a fun. Our last song. There's a lot going on here, so don't worry if you go wrong. I really hope you enjoyed yourself tonight, guys. It's been lovely to be back. We will be back next week and the week after, just straight through now with Kanikapilas on the Monday. So it's an absolute pleasure to be back, folks. Let's harness our inner sting and just have lots of fun. We can think of it as mean, or we can think about it as romantic, whichever you want. Okay, let's do a verse instrumentally to get us going. I'm going to pick this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, E minor, C, D, and E minor. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. And again. Every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Now chorus. Oh, can't you see? Whoops. You belong to me. How my poor heart aches every step you take, every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake, I'll be watching you. Here comes our interlude. Since you've been gone, I've been lost without a trace. I dream at night, I can only see your face. I look around, but it's you I can't replace. I feel so cold and I long for your embrace. I keep crying, baby, baby. Try a little solo if you like. A voice verse chorus. Verse chorus again. Here comes our next chorus. Oh, can't you see? You belong to me. How my poor heart aches with every breath you take, every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you say, I'll be watching you. Repeat those last three chords, C, D minor. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Just follow me. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, I'll be watching you every single day. Every word you say, every game you play, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, I'll be watching you every single day. Every word you say, every game you play, I'll be watching you. Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, I'll be watching you every single day. Every word you say, every game you play, I'll be watching you. Every move you make, every vow you break, every breath you take, I'll be watching you every single day. Every word you say, every game you play, I'll be watching you. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, so Karen, eventually we need a new set of boxes. I'll kind of send mine over and photocopy yours so that we can do it for anyone that wants to kind of correct it. If anyone did want to write it down ever so quickly, I've drawn some boxes on mine. Let's see if I can get that. Probably on close camera would work better. Let me see if I can do that. See these boxes at the end? There we go, I've got it. So for this whole of the final section, it's 2 measures of G, 1 E minor, and then half a measure of C followed by half a measure of D. So 2 measures of G, 1 measure of E minor, half a measure of C, half a measure of D. And of course, you can't, if you're performing it on your own, you can't physically sing this last line, because this line is sung by the backing vocalist as Sting sings this. So I was singing, every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, I'll be watching you, and then you do it again. So you can't actually sing that line and that one at the same time, not unless you're a ventriloquist, all right? So you have to make a value judgment which one you're going to do if you're going to perform it on its own. It's lovely, that last bit though. I don't know why I never spotted that the first time we did it. I obviously wasn't quite paying attention, but I noticed it today. So I always have a practice before we do Kanikapila, and sometimes I haven't noticed it during the week, and I only noticed it when I'm practicing it. It's probably because I listened to the songs before Kanikapila as well. That's a bit of advice. If you're ever doing, not that I always get it perfect, but if you're ever performing something, have a listen to the original before you do it, because it's so easy to kind of get into your own way of playing it, and you miss those little nuances and stuff. So yeah, definitely worth doing. Gosh, guys, there's the most beautiful sunset. I'm just going to show you this before I finish off. I'll stick around for a few minutes, guys, but I wonder if this lead will just about pull far enough. Let me have a look, see if I can put it close. Come on. Can you see that, guys? That's the most gorgeous. You probably can't quite see it because of my ring light there, but it's the most gorgeous sunset outside. I think it's going to be a nice one tonight. Okay, just wanted to share that. I'm a bit of a sucker. I love sunsets. So I hope you really enjoyed that. I'll stick around just to see if there's questions. Yeah, E6 would sometimes work for an E chord. Yeah, sometimes you can get away with a dominant 7, but only when the E chord's working as the 5 chord. If the E chord is the 1 chord, try and stick it to some form of E major chord. E6 would work as well. Actually, E6 would work as a major chord. So yeah. So yeah, okay. I was just checking. I think I am up to date with everyone's. There we go. Oh, there we go. There's one. Enjoy. It's dark here already. Indrani, did I hear you say you've been struck down with COVID as well? I hope not. But if I did read that earlier, I hope you're feeling a lot better soon. And Lisa as well. No, it's Sheila, wasn't it? That's been struck down. I hope you both be feeling a lot better soon. And Kev, if you're still there, I'm thinking of you this week as well. So really hoping all goes well for you over the coming weeks. So yeah, all my best to you, mate. If you haven't already and you want to support me in any way, paypal.me/Ukraine for tips. If you're not able to or don't want to because you already support me in other ways, that's absolutely fine. If you want to just help me out without spending a penny, just word of mouth is an amazing, powerful tool for me. So if you enjoyed tonight, just recommend it to others, and it would mean the world to me. And likewise, if you're a member and you're enjoying the courses, mattsteadukulele.com, just let people know about it, and that's a massive big deal. All right, so that's a great way of helping me. I really appreciate that. And as Karen helpfully says, thanks, Karen. If you could put a like on YouTube or a comment on YouTube, that's fantastic as well. Not on the live chat, but actually on the whole video. It helps the YouTube algorithm pick me up, which is a great help as well. So thank you. If you're able to, that'd be absolutely amazing, folks. So thank you. So lots of new stuff come in. I don't know if you guys are all on my mailing list, but if you haven't joined up, that's well worth doing as well. If you just go to the website, mattsteadukulele.com, just scroll down about halfway on the first page and you can put your email address in. And every week now I'm sending out little mail outs with everything that's happening, because there's always loads of stuff, isn't there? So I've got the next live lesson coming up. There's the next Kanikapila is on there. I'm also adding lots of lessons to the jazz and blues course. We'll be finishing that probably this month. So There's a few more to be added to the jazz and blues course. Last week we did a cool one on Ain't Misbehaving, and the week before that was one of my favourite ever, because it was one of my favourite songs, Common in My Kitchen by Robert Johnson. And it's not long now until I'm starting my new course, which I'm really excited about, Beatles ukulele. So if there's any Fab Four fans, I'm going to have a whole course of Beatles songs for you to enjoy. And we're going to do simple ones for those that are less confident in terms of strumming and singing, but that'll also be some really cool chord melody arrangements and fingerstyle stuff for you to get stuck into as well. So that will be coming in the coming weeks. And again, I always put those details on the mailing list on the Facebook group, so you can keep on top of that. I've got my new series as well, where I'm just doing a simple play along video, so look out for another one of those in the next week or so. And the other thing that I haven't mentioned, if anyone is interested, I'm going to go back and add to the courses I've already done. So I'm going to actually do some more fingerstyle videos and some more stuff for some of the earlier courses as well. So don't worry, I'll always put it on Facebook and on the mailing list. So if you've done those courses and you're worried about missing out, you'll be able to access those. And if you remember, you won't have to pay again or anything. You can just go back and take part. Okay, right, I'm rambling, so I think I'm going to love you and leave you whilst this beautiful sunset is still there before it gets pitch black. And we'll be back next Monday for another Kanikapila. I'm really, really excited to get back into the groove of these. And it's been such a pleasure to see you all. Thank you for all your wonderful support and for being amazing people and brilliant ukulele players. I will see you very soon, and take care. Yukon, everyone.